So hopefully we resolved some of the issues with sound, and because the other system was just dying, I didn't realize it, and it's hard to figure out what electronic component's causing what problem, but I think I got it narrowed down to the microphone. Anyways, Maria may or may not join us this morning, but she's sending her love either way. And this is where we're going to start. We're going to start stretching. Some of the stretch that we're going to do is going to be dynamic. Some of it's going to be a little more passive. Passive tends to lengthen muscles. Dynamic gets activation into the muscle. That's why we're going to do a combination of both. It's going to seem very familiar. But either way, we're going to start from the beginning. That's feet parallel, hips width apart. Here's your ASIS. Here's your pubic symphysis. Midway in between is hips width apart. You're going to push down big toe and the corresponding metatarsal head, outer four toes and the corresponding metatarsal heads, especially that pinky toe. So get that pinky toe down. And finally, your heel. 1/3 the weight through your toes, 1/3 the weight through the balls of your feet, and finally 1/3 the weight through your heels. As we now start time under tension, so your calves go on. You're going to slightly externally rotate your knees, but keep those feet parallel. Quads go on. Now, first chakra, that's your pelvic floor, that goes on. Second chakra, that's your lower abs, that fires up. Third chakra, your upper abs, draws in and closes up your rib cage. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Lift up your heart, suck in that tummy, first, second, third chakras. And we're going to just hold this posture. Abs are nice and tight. Smiles are up. And then you're going to start your hip circles. You want your hip circles coming from your abs, not so much from your neck and shoulders. So in fact, your head's not going to move much. Your smiles are up. Keep your abs engaged. And now we're going to go in the opposite direction. Just feel what it feels like to connect. To have your hips go equally in both directions and front and back. I see Annie's got a new camera system. Suck in your tummy. Okay, we're gonna go front to back now. You're gonna use your abs, not your butt. You're gonna pull forward, pull back. Abs are nice and tight. As you do, you're almost popping your navel to your spine as you're doing this. But no work is going through your butt. Keep breathing. And now we're gonna go side to side. Keep your abs engaged. This is all about core. Yeah, your knees can bend a little bit on this one. But don't make your knees do anything funky in terms of alignment, so it doesn't go inward. They stay over the top of your feet. They can bend, but they stay over the top of the feet. Annie, at the end of class, you're going to have to tell me what system you got. You can tell me later. You don't have to tell me now. Okay, arms come to your sides. We're going to warm things up and continue. Abs are engaged as you start your butt clap run. That's your hips moving opposite to your shoulders and your hands. And we're going to make that nice X across our midsection. Chest up, suck that tummy in. Smiles are up. You should feel your butt clapping behind you because it's so relaxed. Smiles are up. Elbows up. Keep breathing. Chest up. Elbows down. Keep breathing. Elbows up. Okay, and here you go again, hip circles. Now you should really be able to feel your abs and be able to connect into them as you do these hip circles. Go in the opposite direction. And from here, keeping your feet exactly still, quads are still on, calves are still on, abs, lats. Take your arms up over the top of your head, and you're going to circle around above your head. Keep breathing. Unfortunately, with this new mic system, you're probably hearing this little kid screaming in the background. And then go in the opposite direction. Keep your core on. Try to keep the supportive muscles on so your back's not in jeopardy, your shoulders or your neck, and you're creating universal stability. Okay, interlock your fingers, push your palms out, continue to stretch, arch backwards. Now you get to clench your butt, suck in your tummy, and then you're gonna slightly rock side to side. You're breathing, really draw those abs in, and then the arms back down again. We're gonna grab our little ball. We haven't done this in a while. We're just gonna roll out the bottom of the foot. So again, I had a client ask us why the heck we do this, because he just associates it with pain. Well, the reason we do this is for several reasons. One, it is to recalibrate the foot to a known height underneath it. So you have an estimate of what it is, whatever the dimensions of a lacrosse ball is, that high off the ground. So you can estimate things like a step. Ooh, that looks like a step of 3 lacrosse balls. And you can make that step without falling over. 2, it's telling you how you're accidentally using your foot instead of your core muscles, because that's what's making your foot feel sore. It's not the ball that's making your foot feel sore. 3, it's activating neuronal activities, your nerves, all the way from your foot to your brain. So this is just waking everything up, in other words. Yay, we're closing this window. Abs are nice and tight, suck in that tummy. Keep rolling that foot around, but try to keep things parallel. So keep those feet parallel, even if you go side to side or do figure eights like Mario would do. And then you're gonna drop your heel down. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummies. You can take your hands off of the roller, keep your feet parallel. We're gonna do the hip circles again. Try not to move your head. The goal is keep that head as still as you possibly can. And then go in the opposite direction. You can see Wolfie's little honeycomb, but she's not here. Thought she would come join me, but she's not. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. We're gonna start out by rolling that foot for the same reasons. Recalibrating the brain, getting the understanding how we're accidentally using the foot instead of the core, and finally creating neuronal activity from your foot all the way to your brain. Keep your abs engaged. Even though you're going side to side, keep those feet parallel. You can do figure eights. Your smiles are up. Suck in that tummy. Without knowing it, this is a dynamic stretch. You're stretching out the bottom of your foot and you're doing it in motion. So that means there's core activation. That's that time under tension that we talk about. You're keeping everything engaged, creating that tension. So we learn how to manage it instead of feeling stress from it. Okay, and then you're gonna drop your heel down. Feet go parallel, abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. You're gonna do your hip circles. Try to keep your head motionless, eyes to the horizon, shoulders level. And then go in the opposite direction. There used to be this woman in Santa Barbara, obviously from Central America, and she would go to the laundromat and she would have it looked like 70 pounds of laundry on the top of her head, and she'd be walking down the street holding her children's hands. And you could see that her hips moved underneath her and her head didn't move. Okay, good. We're gonna switch back to the other side. Your abs are engaged. You're curling your toes around the ball now. You're gonna take your right foot and you're gonna round your toes over top the ball for Annie's favorite stretch. Suck in that tummy, and you're keeping breathing. And then move your foot slightly forward. Continue to do the same thing. This is just getting more rounding. This is getting the anterior arch of your foot. If the anterior arch of your foot flattens too much, you start getting shoulder problems. And this is where you learn that the light switch isn't always where the light is. Push your foot forward in the human body. So the light switch for your shoulders are all the way down in your feet. And good. We can switch sides now. That's how come when I hear someone has shoulder tension, I don't necessarily massage their shoulders, but I will massage their feet because it will make more sense. So once again, you're curving your foot over the top of the ball as you're just rounding with your heel, your toes over the top of that ball. Keep your abs engaged. And then you can move that ball a little bit further back on your foot, or your foot a little bit further on that ball. You're just breathing. You finally made it to the weekend, so you can relax a little. But not your abs. Your abs will stay on. Push your foot a little bit further forward as you get the last little bit of stretch in there. Notice how this is not necessarily something you would do for yourself during the day. Okay, and go ahead, take your foot off of the ball. Feel what the ground feels like underneath you. You should feel like at least the arches in the front half of your foot feel very lifted. Okay, now we start all the fun. So we got our feet warmed up. We're going to work up to our calves. Okay, the block goes under the ball of your, the ball of your left foot. Your feet are parallel, abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Lift up nice and tall. Keep your core engaged. Shoulder blades are down and back. First, second, third chakras are on. Your quads are on. And now we're going to pump our hips forward. You should feel this in your calf. This is called your gastrocnemius muscle. You should not feel it in your knee or ankle joint. If you do, that means you need to recruit more muscles to get time under tension to protect your joints, because we're working muscles and not the joints. Suck that tummy in. So if you feel this in your low back as your hips go forward, that means your abs are shutting off because your back's a bunch of little joints. Keep your abs engaged. Suck that tummy in. Okay, then take the roller out in front of you. I'm going to angle off to the side so you can see me. You're going to just reach and stretch. Keep breathing, keep sucking in that tummy. It's very important you keep that tummy sucked in because that keeps the pelvic floor on. Keep your jaw relaxed. Keep your knees turned out. Keep your smiles up. Fire those quads up. And then you're just going to rock the roller side to side. This is going to open up now your latissimus dorsi. Excellent job, everyone. Keep stretching. And good. Now we're going to come back up again. We're going to counter stretch this. Keep your abs engaged because your abs may have shut off. If you feel pressure in your low back, that means to tighten your abs even more as you go side to side. I just love the way my shirt lifts up when I take my arms over on top of my head, making me feel a lot like Winnie the Pooh. But that's how much arching backwards you want. Keep your quads on, keep your abs on, keep your lats on, protect your low back. Okay, we're coming back to center. I'll face you once again. We are going to cross your right ankle over your left knee, and you're going to squat into it. Now we're stretching out a muscle called the soleus. The soleus is the second heart. It's the one that pumps the blood from your lower extremities back to your heart. Keep your abs engaged, chest up, time under tension. So a few things, knees over top of the foot. We should feel no pressure in any joint. This is so important. We're going after muscles, so you should feel this in your butt, both butt. You should feel it in maybe even your quad, your abs, but you don't feel it in your back, you don't feel it in your knees. And you're just breathing. Sink down as deeply as you can. Chest up, smiles up. Then we're gonna add the tail wag. You're gonna wiggle your butt. Keep your abs engaged, keep your core on. Suck in that tummy. And good, we're gonna straighten that leg out. We're gonna do a forward fold. Keep your core on. You should feel no pressure in any joint. You feel it in your knee, that means you need to stabilize your quad and your hamstring. Keep your core on. We're gonna do this for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come back up out of this. Arm goes over the top of your head as you now go side to side. Reach. Hips go side to side. You're sucking in that tummy. And good. Go ahead, release. We start over again on the opposite side. Your heel goes down. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. First, second, third chakras are on. Your quads are on. We're creating that time under tension. You're just going to pump your hips forward first. Just lengthen that gastrocnemius. I have totally forgotten what we did on this side, so forgive me if it's not perfect. Suck in that tummy. Jaws relaxed. Again, you'll notice that when the calf gets tight, we tend to round our shoulders. So as you're doing this, keep your abs engaged, draw your shoulder blades down and back. What did we do next? Okay, then take the roller out in front of you. I'm going to angle off to the side so you can see me. You're going to just reach and stretch. Keep breathing, keep sucking in that tummy. It's very important you keep that tummy sucked in because that keeps the pelvic floor on. Keep your jaw relaxed. Keep your knees turned out. Keep your smiles up. Fire those quads up. And then you're just going to rock the roller side to side. This is going to open up now your latissimus dorsi. Excellent job, everyone. Keep stretching. And good. Now we're going to come back up again. So cross your ankle over the top of your knee. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to sit into this. Keep your chest up, abs engaged. Once again, watch the alignment, knee over the top of your foot. Keep the work out of joints. We don't want any pressure in any joint. Shoulders are back, abs are engaged. Suck in that tummy as you now take your hips side to side. We want to feel muscles. If you're feeling joints, recruit more muscles to activate. Suck in that tummy. Keep breathing. And then we're going to straighten that leg out. We're going to reach for the ground. Remember, no pain in joints. We're working muscles. Feel it in the joint. Tighten up the muscles till it's out of the joint. Bring it back to your core. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're coming back up, taking that hand over top of your head, sucking in your tummy. Hips will go side to side. So we're trying to lengthen the calves up a lot because it's one of the most powerful groups of muscles in the human body, and it will tighten up, but it's so functionally involved with posture. If we don't lengthen it, we really get bad posture. Okay, foot down. So reassess stance. Just stand with your feet parallel once again. You should almost feel like you're leaning forward now because your calves have lengthened. Abs are nice and tight. It should almost feel like your feet dropped into a little pit. Suck in that tummy, get that really good posture going on. And then we're starting over, we're gonna do the calf again. Oh, look, the kids went away. Okay. We're gonna start over again by putting the ball of your left foot on the block. We're gonna internally rotate the right foot 90 degrees. So you're at 90 degrees. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. You're gonna pump your hips forward. This will open up that gastrocnemius now, but it's gonna be in a twist. Try to get your knees to externally rotate, but keep your feet turned in. I know it seems like a contradiction, but it's not. If you do this right, we'll even get what's called your tensor fasciolatus up here in the front. Suck in that tummy. Keep your hips forward as you go side to side now. Try not to move your head. This is all hip motion. Keep breathing. Okay, now we do a forward fold. You're gonna be bending over. Engage your abs. Suck in your tummy as you reach. Ooh, there's some tightness going on here. Keep your abs engaged. Suck in that tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. Keep those knees externally rotated even though your feet are toed in. Suck in that tummy. And now we're coming back up again. Arms go over the top of your head. And now you're gonna wave your arms side to side. Suck in that tummy. Feel a little bit like Winnie the Pooh. And good, we're gonna switch sides. The block goes under the ball of your right foot. We're gonna internally rotate the left toes in 90 degrees. So we're at 90 degrees again. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna pump our hips forward. Again, this is gonna get that gastrocnemius. And if we're really lucky, it'll get your tensor fasciolatus up here. Keep your abs engaged. You're not clenching your butt for this one. Your chest stays up. Abs are nice and tight. Smiles are up. Okay. Keep your abs engaged. As we now take this into a forward fold. You're keeping your core on, you're keeping your knees externally rotated even though your toes are in. Your first, second, third chakras are on. You're reaching and you're stretching. Suck in that tummy. No, at no point do you feel this in any joint. If you feel it in any joints, your low back, your knees, your neck, your ankles, your feet, or your toes, it means you have to recruit more muscles to stabilize. And now we're coming back up. Take those arms up over the top of your head, suck in your tummy as your arms sway side to side. Keep sucking in that tummy. And good. Go ahead and take your foot off the block. We are once again going to reassess stance. Your feet are parallel. Knees are bent, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Suck in that tummy. Should once again feel like you're almost tipping forward. Okay? We're going to continue down. Well, let's stay standing. Change my mind. You're going to put the roller off to your right side. You're going to grab your ankle, your left ankle. But what's important, this is a runner stretch, and this is what most people do. This is called abduction. You're moving your knee away from midline. I want you to bring it towards midline. So your knees are actually touching, your thighs are touching. Now your chest goes up and your abs go nice and tight. Now you're going to slowly move your knee back behind you. So your left knee moves backwards. And now you're going to try to straighten your left leg as you're holding it. This will stretch out what's called the rectus femoris, which we'll do more of on the block, but we're doing it here first. You're going to watch the alignment of your right knee over the top of your right foot. Your abs are engaged, your chest is up. If you do this right, you'll also get a little bit of a pectoralis major stretch. That's your chest muscle. Keep those knees closer to midline. Don't let them splay open. Keep them towards midline as you push that leg back. Suck in your tummy. Just a few more seconds. You should feel no pressure in your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, it means your abs have shut off. And good. We're switching sides. You're taking your left hand, grabbing a hold of your right hand, grabbing a hold of your right foot. Knees come together. Abs on, chest up, and then you're going to take that leg back behind you. Watch the alignment of your left knee over the top of your left foot. Keep bringing it back behind you, and once you hit your maximum, try to straighten your leg. Chest is up. You do this right, you'll get a nice pec stretch. Don't let your leg come out. It's going to stay more towards midline. Suck in your tummy. No pressure into your low back. If you feel that pressure in your low back, your abs have somehow shut off. And good. Go ahead and bring your feet back to the ground. Now we're going to go onto our left knee. Okay, abs are engaged. First, second, third chakras on. You're going to move your hips side to side. We do this and repeat this particular motion over and over again because it's so involved in what's called the hunting reflex. We hunt, and we have to be able to keep our head stable as our hips are stalking through woods. We start losing this behavior, we start falling over a whole lot. So that head should be right over the top of that block. Abs are nice and tight. And now push your hips forward. Continue the same thing, side to side. Try not to let this knee move side to side. It'll move a little, you just can't help that, but not a lot. Keep your abs engaged, no pressure in your low back. Okay, now you're going to take your right hand, grab your left foot. We're getting that rectus femoris once again, and your hips are going to go side to side. Smiles are up, chest is up, long neck. No tension in that neck, especially that anterior neck, the front side of your neck. Keep breathing. Okay, now we're going to start our dynamic stretch portion. You're going to release that leg back behind you. You're going to take this leg across midline straight. We're going to go forward into stretch. We're going to hold, and then we're going to bend that front knee stretch forward. And then we're going to push back, grab your toe. You're just going to go back and forth between these two motions. Keep your abs engaged. At no point do your abs shut off. It's time under tension, so your core stays on, which will keep you balanced. Suck that tummy in. Smiles are up. Abs, nice and slow. This is not fast. That's 8, 9, 10. Good job, everyone. We're going to switch sides before I forget what we did. Your right knee goes down, your left foot is forward. Abs are engaged. We're going to send our hips side to side. Suck in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back. Head is over the top of the ball because your core is on. We're using that hunting reflex. Just feel your abs. It should feel really cool that your abs are on with your hips in motion. And then we're gonna lunge forward, doing the same thing, side to side. Keep your core on. Smiles are up. It's Saturday. How can you not smile? Okay, and then you're gonna take your left hand, grab a hold of your right foot. You're gonna continue that motion side to side. Keep pushing your hips forward, suck in that tummy. No pressure in your low back or your knee. If you feel them there, tighten up stuff until it goes away. Keep breathing. Okay. Go ahead, release that leg back behind you. You're gonna take your left heel across midline, leg goes straight. As we start our dynamic stretch here, you're gonna head towards your toes, keep your abs engaged, all stabilizing structures on. From here, you're gonna go into a lunge. You're just going back and forth, nice and slow, stretching your hamstring, and then stretching that rectus, back and forth. Watch alignment, make sure that knee stays over the top of your foot. Keep breathing. Jaws relaxed. Abs are engaged. Keep breathing. Just see what this feels like. See what it feels like to stay out of joints. You shouldn't feel this in your hip at all, not in your knees. Two more. 1, 2. Good. We're going to come back into kneeling now. You can hang on to your roller. We might need it. You might need it. Knees are going to be bent. We're going to do stretching from here. You're going to bring your knees actually together. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. You're going to arch backwards. You have to keep your abs on to protect your low back. It's okay if you clench your butt on this one. Smiles are up. When I was a kid and I'd go skiing, I'd see people drinking out of Bota bottles, but it was always a big deal if someone else squeezed a Bota bottle, whatever was in the Bota bottle content into your mouth, so you had to tip your head back. But what I'd regularly see is people that didn't properly warm up, and also that it was cold, and they couldn't arch back, so they ended up getting the Bota bottle contents all over their face and down the front side of their body, and everyone would laugh about it, but I'm just like, they're not warmed up. They're gonna get injured while they're skiing. Yes, I thought this way when I was a kid. Okay, keep your hips forward. You're gonna do hip circles. Jaws relaxed. And then go in the opposite direction. So there was this woman when I went to chiropractic school, and she was a champion limbo dancer. But it was amazing how much she could arch backwards and have muscular control. We want to be all good limbo dancers. Okay, come back to center. We stretch our toes now. So Wolfie decided not to join us. Okay, first point your toes right back behind you. I think I heard our little claws. You're going to lean back as far as you can lean back. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to try to lift your knees off the ground as you stretch the front side of your feet. Abs are nice and tight. And once they're up, or as high as you can get them up, you're going to tighten your abs and then release. Tighten your abs, release. We're doing sit-ups with tension in your toes. And this is actually teaching you how to protect your toes by tightening your abs. Nine, 10, good. Come back with your knees down. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. You're going to curl your toes underneath you now. So your toes are back like this. And as I always talk about, whenever we bend the toes into deep flexion, if you feel excessive pressure in your metatarsal heads, that means you need to push your heels back. You don't want to feel excessive pressure into the knuckles of the toes. We want to feel it primarily in that plantar fascia and the musculotendinous junction of the Achilles tendon into your calves. We're going to now lean back. We're going to do our sit-ups again. Suck at that tummy. Notice how much harder it is to engage your abs. That's why we do this. So we can find our abs under any circumstance. Keep breathing. Jaws relaxed. Suck in that tummy. Okay, come back forward again. You're going to point your toes again. We're going to lean back. We're going to do our sit-ups again. Suck that tummy in. And then come back. You're going to curl your toes under again. Push your heels back. Back, 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 back. Lean back. We're doing our sit-ups again. Suck in that tummy. So when I was a kid, since, we've talked about Winnie the Pooh so much, Winnie the Pooh is fat. He had a tummy that stuck out. A tummy full of honey was kind of his moniker. If you guys have been to Disneyland recently, they've made a more fit version of Winnie the Pooh because he was projecting fatness as being okay. And so they image shamed Winnie the Pooh into being skinny now. So when you go to Disneyland, Winnie the Pooh is skinny and his shirt fits over his belly. I guess that's what they want us to try. We should try it, okay? Point your toes back again. You're gonna get your ball now. Okay, your ball goes on top of your block. We're gonna have a seat on top of that ball. That ball is midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Ha-ha! Your knees come together, your abs are engaged, your shoulder blades are down and back. Chest is up. Head is over top of your pelvic floor. And now we start. Squeeze a ball with your pelvic floor. If you feel what it feels like to squeeze the ball with your pelvic floor without using your butt. This is so important for so many activities, especially to protect your lower extremities. And now we're going to add second chakra. You're going to suck that tummy in simultaneously as you tighten your abs. And that automatically connects into third chakra of the ribs closing up. Keep that chest up. Keep those abs engaged. And now you're going to take this, what is this, your right hand, you're going to put it behind your left shoulder blade. You're going to lift up nice and tall. Ooh, microphone. Okay, you're going to put your left hand on your shoulder and start massaging out your shoulder as you move your head and neck around. You're going after a muscle specifically here. It's called the levator scapula. And this is what everyone thinks causes neck tension. Just move it around, stretch it out. Keep breathing. Keep your core on, don't let your abs shut off. So you're feeling tension in your shoulders, so you want to take tension away, but we're learning to manage tension because by learning to manage tension, we decrease stress. It is okay if your neck's cracking and popping, but try to figure out even there how to recruit neck muscles so it minimizes the cracking and popping. Here's also a more interesting phenomenon as you're moving your head and neck around. You should hear your ear canals and your eustachian tubes opening up in your ears so your ears get clearer. Make sure to breathe. C3, C4, C5, 3, 4, 5 in the neck. 3, 4, 5 becomes a phrenic nerve, and the phrenic nerve is a nerve that innervates the diaphragm. So the tighter your neck becomes, the tighter your breathing becomes, and vice versa, since the human body is a two-way system. If your diaphragm gets tight, your neck gets tight. So breathe. You can even massage out the front of your pec. I'm trying to avoid the microphone. Jaws relaxed. Keep your abs engaged. Don't let those turn off. You can continue to move your head and neck around. This is opening up all the muscles of, especially this muscle called the platysma, which can be accidentally used as a breathing muscle. It's not a breathing muscle, it's a facial muscle. And we want to get all that tension out of your décolletage, which is the majority of what's called the platysma muscle. Okay, and then you can release that arm and shake it out. You're going to take your left arm, put it behind your right shoulder blade. You're going to start this process again as you start massaging out this levator, scapula. Suck in that tummy, don't let your belly hang out. So remember, nothing in the human body has a single function. So as you're rolling around your neck, you're massaging your thyroid and your parathyroid. You're getting increased blood flow to your brain. You're opening up lymphatics to your neck, face, and shoulders. There's that kid again. Sorry about that. Just roll it around, get it untensed. No secondary function of draining your sinuses and even your throat, opening up your eustachian tube. You can now get the front of your pec as well, which will get soma, the attachment of the platysma muscle, which is a facial muscle. Very nice, everyone. Go ahead and release this arm. We're now going to take your fingers, you're going to interlock them back behind you in a twisted position. So see this twist? You're going to do it behind you. You're going to move your hands as far away from your body as you can as you roll your head and neck around. You should put a stronger pull on that right side of your neck. It's getting your right trapezius, your right deltoid, anterior deltoid. So by moving your head and neck around, you're not opening up the drainage to your sinuses, but you're also opening up your lungs. It's kind of important during this time period. We're in COVID times. And COVID is a respiratory disease, even though it's become this kind of nebulous bad thing that happens. Remember, it happens through your sinuses and your lungs, so we want to keep those nice and healthy. Okay? Reverse your hands. So you're going to reverse your grip back behind you. Move your hands away from you. Move your head and neck around. Notice if one side's tighter, it should be feeling a little more tight on that left side. Keep your abs engaged. Okay, go ahead, shake out both arms. Take your right elbow above your head. See if you can reach across with your left hand and grab that elbow without jabbing yourself in the throat with the microphone. And you're going to move your torso around. This is a great expression if something's gone really wrong and you don't know why. You're like, oh my God, I don't know why. This is opening up your lungs, your liver, stomach, spleen, and pancreas. This is great. Keep your abs engaged. Go in the opposite direction. So you're seeing how movement plays into the overall health of your body. Yeah, and release your arms. Back when you guys were all moms and dads, one of the things we would do is interpret the health of a child because they couldn't communicate by their movement. So if they weren't moving their shoulder was probably hurt. Or if they're holding both arms up, they have a chest cold. We could see it in their motions, but we forget that as humans. So if we can't move a certain part of our body, it's impacting an internal organ. Okay, take your left arm over the top of your head, take your right hand over the top to pull it further across as you start wiggling around and doing the Winnie the Pooh again, sucking that tummy. Yeah, so they have body shamed Winnie the Pooh. Just notice if this side moves as well as the other side, if it's opening up more. And then go ahead, just release. Just shake those arms out. Feel the tension load that's been opened up. And we're coming off the ball. We're coming back into kneeling. Let me see what that says. Okay. Just see what kneeling feels like. Feel what it feels like to get your head easily over the top of your pelvic floor. We're going to open up into, let's see what would be interesting. We're going to open up into pigeon. You can use your blocks. You're going to take your left leg forward, right leg back. Your chest is up nice and tall. You're sucking in your tummy. And you're going to start out by rocking your hips side to side. Again, we don't want to feel it in the knee joint. If you do, toe up to activate all the muscles around your knee to protect it. Rock those hips side to side as you suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. We're opening up the glute max piriformis complex. Okay, now stay over to that left side. Stretch deeper into that left butt cheek. Suck in that tummy. Jaws relaxed. Now you're going to reach back behind you, bend your right leg. You're going to grab your foot with your left hand. If your hamstring cramps, that's because you're overusing your hamstring. If your foot cramps, it means you're using your foot. We want you to stretch that rectus femoris open. If you fall on your face, it means your core is shut off. Your smiles are up. Abs are nice and tight. No low back pressure. Remember, we're stretching muscles, not joints. 5 more seconds. Yeah, and then go ahead and release that rear leg. Staying in this position, you're going to bring this leg upright. So it's going to be like a track start, sort of, except this leg's really far back behind you. You're opening up your hip flexors. You can bring your blocks to the inside now. We're stretching forward, chest up. I want you to shorten those back muscles. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Keep breathing. Ooh, wiggle side to side. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. We're gonna come back and go into a child's pose. You're gonna feel a lot of compression in that right hip because we've lengthened it so much. You stretch out something called your psoas. It's actually a complex. It's called the iliopsoas. It's the iliacus and the psoas muscle. We tend to overuse it and turn off our abdominal muscles. That's why it's important to stretch it. Okay, take your right leg out in front of you again. This is time under tension, so no pressure in your knee. If you'd feel it there, toe up on your right foot, fire up your quad, chest up. We're gonna start out by wiggling our butt side to side. Smiles are up. Whenever you wiggle your butt, it should be a happy time. Watch that alignment of the foot behind you, make sure it's straight. Suck in that tummy, don't let any pressure go into your low back. And now push that weight over to the right side. Get a deep stretch into that glute max. Suck in your tummy. Jaws relaxed. Notice if one side felt tighter than the other. If it did, this is called muscular imbalance. This is definitely something you should do regularly until that corrects because it's causing force imbalances in your body, but not only to your physical body, but also your internal organs. Just a little longer as we open up this muscle. Suck in that tummy. Notice when your abs want to shut off, don't let them shut off. Okay, now you're gonna upright this leg. You can bring your blocks to the inside. We're stretching everything out. Suck in that tummy, abs are engaged. My dad used to have this really interesting behavior. When he brushed his teeth, he put, I think it was only his right foot on the sink in the bathroom as he was brushing his teeth. And because of it, is something I noticed even from childhood. He walked with one long stride and one short stride because he never did the other side. That's why we do both sides, so we don't create a muscular imbalance. Okay, we're gonna come out of this one again, and we're gonna go into a child's pose. Okay, coming back up again. You're just gonna have a seat on top of your butt. Your legs are out in front of you. We're gonna do a quick dynamic stretch. We're gonna do an assessment first, see where your toes are, your fingertips are in terms of your toes, and then you're gonna cross your arms like this, like I Dream of Jeannie. Suck in your tummy, and then you're gonna scoop, like you're trying to scoop up earth with your arms. You're going forward. Yes, it is a little bit of a bounce, so don't do it fast, but do it by recruiting your abs, pulling you forward. So pull yourself forward, pull yourself forward. We're gonna keep doing this for a few times. 8, 9, 10. Really reach, and now see where your hands are in terms of your feet. It should be a whole lot easier because that's a dynamic stretch. Hold it as long as you can and breathe. Keep your abs engaged. Keep your lats on. Those are your back muscles. Don't let those turn off. Suck in your tummy. Fire up your quads. Your quads are working too. You should not feel this in any joints, especially that low back. If you do, it means something needs to be tightened up. Just 5 more seconds. 4, pull those toes to your nose. 3, 2, 1. Now you're gonna take your ball, and the ball's gonna go in the small of your back. Ooh, gotta move the microphone. I'll put it in my pocket. You're gonna arch over the top of the ball. This is immediate counter stretch to a forward fold. Your body doesn't initially like it, but it will learn to. As you rock your hips from side to side, try to keep your toes pointed upwards. I know they'll want to turn out, but we're gonna go upward. Keep breathing. From here, your legs are gonna go, the ball's gonna go underneath your sacrum, your legs are gonna go straight up in the air. We're just gonna let the blood drain out of our legs first, back to our heart, back to our liver. Then we're gonna do a dynamic stretch of your quads. We're gonna flex one knee, then flex the other knee. You're just bending your knees. You're going for a little run. First walk, I guess. There should be no pressure in your knees because this is non-weight bearing on your knees. So if there is, figure out how much you have to internally or externally rotate your feet so there's no pressure in your knees. And then we're gonna speed it up slightly. Careful not to kick your other foot. I did this once demonstrating. I kicked my foot so hard I almost passed out. And then triple time. We're gonna go really fast. And finally Gillen time, super fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna straighten your legs again against the ground. Abs are nice and tight. You're rocking side to side. Keep breathing. And good. Go ahead and come off the ball. We're going to sit back up again. You're going to grab your roller. We have not done this in a very, very long time. You're going to sit on the very end of your roller with your knees bent. I do not care how far you go back. You stop when this doesn't feel safe, but your goal is to get your spine against the roller. So what we're going to do now is bend and put our left foot on the ground. So you should look like this. Chest goes up, abs are engaged. Remember, we are stretching muscles, not joints. So if you feel this in a joint, reset, activate muscles, get the work out of a joint. So now you're going to do is lean back over the top of the roller and just stretch, relax, let gravity do the work. If you can't go all the way back, that's fine. If you can, great. If it's super easy, you could take your left foot, cross it over to your right knee, and do a figure 4, open things up even deeper. Keep your abs engaged the whole time. No pressure into your low back, no pressure into your foot. Your knee should not feel like it's going to explode. Keep breathing. Abs are engaged. If you want to make it more intense, lean to the right. Abs. 5 more seconds. And then we're going to roll out of this by going to the left. Take your right leg forward. And then you're going to lean to the right. Bring your left leg back behind you. Or you can sit back up, either way. Notice if one side's tighter than the other. Or looser. But either way, if you hit that stretch point, that allows you to take that right leg over the top of your left knee. Wonderful. If you can't, that's fine too. If you want to intensify the stretch, lean to the left. Keep your abs engaged. Don't let your back arch. We're protecting joints by stretching muscles. So you're working muscles, not joints. You're stretching muscles. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and back. And then finally, you can roll over to your right as you bring that left leg forward again. Both feet go flat on the ground. Try to get your spine on the roller. First chakra goes on. Third chakra closes up. Sixth chakra causes your spine to go against the roller. Arms come out to the side like you're hugging someone really large. And you're breathing. Gently rock from side to side. As if you're only having, like you're one of those old-fashioned scales, and one BB gets dropped on your left side, and then it rolls off, and someone drops a BB on that right side, and then it rolls off. Just go back and forth, nice and gentle and smooth, as if you're sloshing your blood back and forth inside your body. Notice if you're breathing and just start. You stay where you are. I'm going to sit up to take you through the last part of class. Notice what it feels like to be on this roller. Notice what it feels like to stretch. Notice what it feels like to be breathing. Notice what it feels like to have your head aligned with your pelvic floor. It's like your crown of your head is reaching up into the sky, and you're breathing. See what it's like to deepen your breath and connect with it. It's interesting how in literature things are historically placed based upon a breath. Like it took my breath away the first time I fell in love. I gasped and it took my breath away. It stole my breath. All it takes is one breath that's not in your control, and you will feel like life is out of control. So start breathing. Let that breath come in, and then exhale it out. People's biggest fear of COVID is not actually getting COVID, it is the inability to breathe. But it's so interesting that they're finding out because of COVID, how many people hold their breath during the day. So get back into breathing, line up nice and tall, find your center, and breathe without disturbing that center. Because once you find your center, you're in meditation. And once you open up to receive, you're definitely in meditation. Because we're trying to allow a connected physical experience. And the connection we're trying to make is with something higher than us. And if we're going to receive so much, we want to be on balance. You guys did an extraordinary job today. And on behalf of Maria, who is not here, and me, we appreciate your time, energy, effort, and your willingness to show up. So thank you, and namaste.